Okay guys, here's the next video coming up of my next guest. So enjoy, you're going to learn something else from a different perspective. So sit back and enjoy the ride. So today I got with me Tom, and Tom basically, he's done the boiler training, formerly known as Master the Basics. So Tom's going to really explain about how he met me, how he found my work, and his journey through what he discovered through the training and how it's basically changed his life, his perspective going forward, and you'll hear his story, what it's all about. So, okay, over to you, Tom. So, if you tell everyone who you are and, as I said, how you found the work and take from there.
Perfect. Cheers, Tony. Thanks very much for that. Basically, I was in the trucking industry for like 30 years. I lived in Canada for a long time. Came back to the UK about 4 years ago, and I didn't want to be doing what I was doing over here. So I went and looked at my life for a few months and decided that I did some plumbing stuff like a long time ago, and I thought I would get into sort of the gas industry. So I went and did what they call like a gas course at one of these colleges up in Scotland. Now it's about 9 months, and what they do is go through basically all the core gas regulation stuff, and you do kind of 2 weeks at college, 2 weeks with a company locally to get some practical experience. That went on all the way through the whole course of the time. Now, at the end of the 9 months, we went through the basically like your ACS sort of thing, and at the end of the time, I actually thought that I knew not a lot. So I kind of soul searched and thought, well, is this actually for me, what I'm doing here? So I spoke to a couple of people in the industry about, like people coming in here to the industry, lack of knowledge. And I was basically told to go do some manufacturer's courses and get a wee bit more experience. So I did quite a few courses. Like I went to Baxi, did 3-day course down in England. It was really good. I learned all the stuff to do with like electrical multimeter testing components, that kind of thing. It was good, and I did the Worcester one as well in Wakefield for 3 days. I did an Ideal course, Valent, Glowworm, all these different manufacturers. And although I did all these like 1-day courses, like I still felt like I lacked the knowledge because they don't go into depth with what's going on in their boilers and how you can deal with these things. It's just more like a sort of a sales pitch about their boilers and their boilers only. So I did a lot of research on the internet, and I stumbled on this ad. I can't even remember what it was, in Facebook or YouTube, whatever. But Tony's pitch basically caught my eyes. It was something completely different to the norm, let's say. And I contacted him. He called me back, and we had a wee chat on the phone for about 15-20 minutes. And I signed up to his course. It's basically like an online course, and he sends you all the information, and you just basically do like a self-study. So I did that course. Through the course, maybe about 2 months, I was quite keen. So I did about 3-4 hours a day, and any problems you had, you can either call him or you can send some messages through the app, and he always responded like quite quick. So I felt that was quite a good thing. And over the course of 2 months that I was doing this online course, I never realised that although you're not on a boiler, you're watching these things on the video, and you actually get a wee bit more confidence. You start to learn things that you didn't know before, and it built the confidence level, quite a bit. So
let me ask you a question there, Tom.
Yeah,
so you're saying like you did the manufacturer's courses all over.
Yeah.
Your confidence level still wasn't great.
Yeah.
And then you basically seen that my program, you've done that, you put the time in, like you said, 4 hours a day. day in, day out, doing that intensive training, but after that, your confidence level's a lot higher.
Yes, I mean, don't get me wrong, the manufacturer courses were quite good, but it was based on their product. I mean, there's guys that will install only Baxis or only Worcester or whatever. So I think they get to learn the product of that particular boiler manufacturer, but they don't actually go into detail of what's going on in their boilers. Like, you know, although they say, like, you know, this is how you install them and service them, commission the boilers, they don't actually go into detail, you know, what if something went wrong with these boilers. So I was still stuck in a situation, although I knew how to install and commission as per manufacturer's instructions, I still wouldn't know what to do if somebody says, like, you know, my boiler's broken down, can you help me? I didn't have that confidence level, and it wasn't until basically you, Tony, contacted me and says, like, you know, I think this course that I have would be ideal for you. So I mean, it was a 5-month course, but I don't do things lightly, so I just took it on board, and I put a lot of hours and a lot of time in, and I still watch some YouTube videos and whatever, and did some Google searches, like, you know, with some things, and I just found that my level of confidence started increasing, and sorry.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, carry on. Yeah.
And obviously, like, you know, when you start to see these videos and you're breaking down the boilers, and whether it's, I mean, obviously you've got the Worcester, the Vaillant, the Baxi, the 3 probably main manufacturers in the UK. It was just good to see, like, those different scenarios, like, you know, some poor guy is standing next to you getting all the flack, and I can sit here on my own screen and watch it for myself, and just sit back and think, you know what, I can do that. It's just, like, you know, having that level of confidence. So, but after, like, you know, the 2 months that I actually put it on the videos, I just started taking jobs on, because before I was kind of hesitant. So I started taking some jobs on, and before I knew it, you know, I was changing gas valves, changing expansion vessels, and even, like, you know, a few weeks ago, I ripped an Ariston combi boiler completely apart, and just, I couldn't believe at the end of it that was me. You know, like, just a few months down the line. But it just showed me that I think your course does work.
Excellent. That's it. Brilliant. Good to hear. So you went from, like, 0 to hero, really, because you was a bit apprehensive touching them. You've done the course, and then you got that confidence to go out there, start doing different types of boiler repairs, and you've done an Ariston brain transplant, more or less. You took it to people.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's still sometimes that I still feel, do you know, you get a little bit of doubt in your mind, like, you know, I think you get a wee bit older, you think, I think it's just a confidence thing, Tony. Like, you know, there's nothing that anybody can't do, and I think that you build the confidence in somebody's ability, and that's the main thing why I chose you, because a lot of other people out there just don't care. Let's face it, they don't care. And I can call you at pretty much, wouldn't say any time, but, you know, if I call you, call me back. If I've got a wee problem, you can call me back and tell me, like, give me a wee bit of advice. I mean, I actually did a job the other week on the boiler mates, if you remember right, Tony, up in Edinburgh. There was this property up there, an electrician went in there, and he basically blew the PCB because he didn't know what he was doing. And I just rewatched the video again, like, because it was quite a long time ago that I did that on the boiler mates. And to be fair, perfectly honest, I did that job pretty easily. I mean, it's like, it was the most difficult part was trying to control that customer, because he was a wee bit irate from what happened. But the job itself is 10 minutes.
Right. Let me just start with that. I just want to explain to people that watching this, because this is like textbook of what this course does. So basically, a job come in, as he said, and I knew this job was in your capability. You could do this. So I thought, brilliant. I've got a man who can do this job. He's done the training. Now, other guys who basically, it was another installer, basically.
It was, yeah, it was.
who basically messed up the job, blew the PCB up, didn't wire it correctly, wasn't too sure what he was doing. He rings us. I even got Tom involved because I knew he'd done a training. I knew that he knew about 𝐷𝐿. The other guy didn't. And I suppose the installer's probably, I don't know, it could have been 3-4 years ahead of you in actually,
Yeah, yeah.
in actually being out there from being gas safe registered when he first got gas safe registered. So he could have been 3-4 years ahead of you in that respect. But yet, my guy done the training, he learned a lot of information in a short space of time, goes out to the job. In the customer's eyes, Tom's an expert. He knew exactly what he was doing. He went straight to the problem, sorted it out. Customer was over the moon. And it was just absolutely a treat to hear that you did that via the training what I gave you. I knew it would work. I knew you could do it. And I knew it would just be great. So that's just a great testimonial to what this course can do for new people in this game.
Absolutely. Like, when I went there, I was thinking, like, basically after watching the videos before over and over again, you know what? I can do this. It's just basically you've got to get over this lack of confidence issue. You go to this job, you don't know what to expect. And when I got there, everything just fell in place. I mean, the guy, I think he was a bit irate because the customer installed the boiler. It was a heat-only boiler, a Worcester, and for whatever reason they end up blowing up the PCB and told the customer a pack of lies. So I was standing in front of this customer, trying to deal with the situation, and in the end it was a breeze because after Tony showed me like how to do these things, I just basically followed my training instructions, and within 10 minutes I had the whole PCB out, the new one in, and I just couldn't believe how quick it went. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Brilliant, excellent, wonderful, wonderful. So now, question: now you've done, like I said, you've done all your training. You're growing now, more confident. And so, how do you see the future now? Now you've done this training for yourself.
I see the future, Tony, is I need a mentor, i.e., which I think is you, because I'm under no illusions that I know everything about boilers. So I'm going to continue my training sessions with you in the future, and to build my knowledge so that hopefully eventually before I retire, I actually know what I'm doing. I'm
sure you will.
Yeah, there's so much I've realized over the past couple of years since I came into this industry that you don't really know nothing unless you continue like a training program. If you think you're going to go in there and take on these tasks without any sort of knowledge and training, forget it. It's not going to happen.
That's true. However, there's lots of guys who basically do the ACS, get gas safe registered, and then they're out there repairing, fixing boilers, installing boilers.
Yeah.
Without that pre-knowledge or that additional training, which is crucial to their success.
Tony, speaking through personal experience since I started. Like I said, it's pretty much 3 years now since I started from knowing nothing to what I know now. And I must admit, the first year that when I went to college and did that gas course, I still felt that I knew nothing after almost a year. And I think it's up to the individual themselves to take it on board and say, you know what, accept it for what it was and just crack on and get on with it. There was plenty of courses available. Some courses you don't pay for, some courses you do pay for, but that's all part of it. Because like, if you go into the apprenticeship for 4 years, let's face it, you don't make a lot of money. So you've got a choice to make. Either you go work for somebody for next to nothing, or you just go do one of these courses and just go pay for a few courses to get yourself up to speed. But I don't think it's for everybody. You've got to be in the right frame of mind. I think you've got to have the right attitude, when you're taking this on board. And I think basically, at my stage in life, I didn't want to change what I was doing, and I had to get up and go to say, like, I'm 50 odd years of age, but I still want to take it on board and learn, and I did.
Mm. Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely. As you said, the mindset is the key to all this, because if you haven't got the right mindset, you're not going to really want to learn. You're not going to want to explore new ideas of learning. Now, in the way you learn so much, how do you think about it? Just tell people about the sort of technique, how he was actually doing it. It wasn't just a case of just watching videos. There was a bit more to it.
Yeah, I think, Tony, when you watch the videos, you gotta let it sink in. Because let's face it, everybody does things differently. So when you're confronted with a job, what I learned from your course was, don't just rush straight in there and dive in and like, oh, I can do that. Sit back and think for 2 or 3 minutes. And that's what I've always done. I've sat back there and thought, right, what's in front of me? And most importantly, how am I going to do this job, i.e. safely and properly without flooding the person's house? Or, because let's face it, you're a new engineer, and you need to know that whatever you're doing is not going to end up causing like a big spillage somewhere. So
yeah,
I think the best thing that I learned was watching your videos. Just sit down there, have a good think, even before you go on the job. When you go on the job, somebody tells you, get a good bit of information, what, I've got whatever is wrong with your boiler. Have a wee think about what you're planning on doing on the way to the job. And that's kind of helped me too. And once you get in the job, then just assess the situation.
That's it. And that's what we spoke about in module 1.
Yeah.
About basically the procedure, what you do before you go to the job. So you're basically setting yourself up properly, so you can try and do that either in one visit or minimal visits, but you know what you're doing. You've spoken to the customer, you've got that pre-information, which is key. So you're not walking there blind. That's it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
what would you say to new engineers who basically are doing their gas portfolio, or they just recently registered for the for gas safe registration? So what would you say to these guys?
Yeah, I'd say to new engineers, although you've done, whether it's like a condensed course like I did, or even like a couple of years apprenticeship, just go do some courses, because it's not enough. You can either, don't get me wrong, the manufacturer's courses, they are good for what they are, but they're not the be all and end all. I think you still need hands-on, like, stuff that can teach you how to improve your, I'd say, more confidence levels, because that's the biggest issue here, is the confidence levels. And that's something that Tony does. He's patient, we all make mistakes, but he's got the patience. Just crack in there, do the course, get the knowledge, and you'll find yourself that within I even think a few weeks, that you'll start considering taking on jobs that you wouldn't even have thought you would have done, like just that few weeks earlier.
Excellent. And that means that this course can increase your earning potential.
Absolutely. When I first started, I was very hesitant taking on jobs, because I still never felt that I was confident. And then obviously I took that course on with Tony, and I started taking on more breakdowns or whatever. And the thing is, breakdowns always tend to lead to brand new installations. I can't recall how many installs that I've had since I did the training with Tony. So just to re-emphasize that it's not all about slapping a ball on the wall. You've got to follow up and make sure that your customer is happy. If they've got issues with the boiler, that you're confident enough to go in there and say, you know what, I know what it is. I can fix your boiler without spending 3 or 4 hours there and kind of making a fool of yourself. and that's what I felt that your course did. You know, I went in the houses and did some small jobs, and some of them led to installs. And now, like I says, I mean, I'm practically almost ripping boilers apart. Actually, this morning I looked at some of the modules on the course again. It's just good to watch, because sometimes you forget, you know, whether it's a backseat or, I mean, the Worcesters are, for me, are just horrendous to get your fingers in. And I watched the one again here where you were showing that gentleman the how to get the basically the whole left and right hand block out of the boiler, and it's like, wow, I forgot all about that. So it's good to even watch the videos over and over again.
Absolutely. Repetition, the mother of all skill. You need to go over it so it's in your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
So it's not a one-trick pony. You got to go over it, and then you're getting that success, because you can. It's automatic then. You know what to do.
Yeah.
And if you forget, like you said, you can go back to it and refresh your mind.
Yeah.
So
and the other thing is, obviously, I've got the I signed up to the library every week. Tony sends 4 or 5 videos about different boiler jobs he's been on, and even watching them, it's just like it's something new every week. You know, it's not like you're watching the same things. You get different boilers, you get different situations, different scenarios, and every week he sends 4 or 5, and I watch them all. So it just I think eventually it sinks in, you know, what's going on there, you know. And I think sometimes when you do watch these videos over and over again, it does eventually sink in and think, well, I was there before. Now I actually know what the problem is before you can get there.
Exactly. And that's it. So that's what it's like being a masterful engineer. Because
that's what I was told the other day, Tony. I had that guy that blew up that boiler in Edinburgh. He called me actually yesterday, and he I don't think he's learned his lesson. He was on another boiler mate.
Was he?
And he had a problem. He says the boiler wouldn't switch off, and I says, well, haven't you had enough? I says, you blew up a PCB last week. I says, just leave it, like, you know, I can come and have a look at it if you like. No, but he didn't take me up. But, you know, he still called me and says, his words were, I know that you're a masterful engineer.
Did he?
Yeah, that's what he says to me.
Right, excellent. Well, that's it, because the masterful engineers are quite rare at the moment.
I think so.
But in the future, they're going to be quite big.
I hope so, especially in Scotland anyway.
Well, my intention is to be in Scotland, England, and Wales, and Ireland. So that's my goal, because new engineers need to know this stuff, because then they can hit the ground running and eventually become masterful engineers and basically follow your route, exactly what you've done.
Yeah.
So that's great stuff. That's wonderful.
It's just a wee bit of you know, perseverance, and just get in there and crack on, and you do learn. I mean, it's
that's it. Now, I got one more big question to ask you. In my type of thinking, how engineers can develop, new engineers can develop, my overall vision is that if guys do the ACS, then do the training what you've done, then become gas safe registered, then they're going to hit the ground running straight away. They can have the knowledge, the confidence, the information. They can go straight to jobs. Customers will notice the difference from someone else who hasn't done that. What would you say to that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I did my course, I felt that the lecturer worked for British Gas for 25 years. He went to do his last job there at college for his pension because it was easy, and they never had the passion like you do to actually sit down there for 8 hours a day and just bombard you with information. It never happened, Tony. And that's why, I mean, why would it? I mean, 9 months of training, I think, would be enough if it was the right training. But it wasn't, and I felt that all over the UK. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you go to 𝐕𝐢𝐝 or whether you go to Worcester or 𝐵𝐐, it's all part of the learning curve, but it's not enough, because they don't show you how to fix boilers or how to take parts out and whatever. They just show you things that they want to do to sell their products and nothing else. So take it with a pinch of salt for what it is. But at the end of it all, if I had 9 months of your training, I'd probably hit the ground running, and I'd be making a fortune in year 1.
Well, you're still going to make a fortune, definitely. I'm sure.
But not that, because now in year 2, I've had to register for VAT, which is, I don't know whether it's still a good thing or a bad thing, but
that's a great thing.
I know that I'm growing, so next thing is probably taking somebody on eventually.
And you know where they're going to get the training from. Yeah. So yeah, that's great. That's great. So you're moving forward. That you've gone back registered. Excellent.
Yeah.
So you're definitely going in the right direction. And that's a great story.
Yeah, I think so. And just for all your viewers, Tony, just to reiterate, the training never ends, because the week after next, I'm coming back down to see you again for another week of it.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. You're coming to Manchester, away from Scotland.
Yeah.
To do some hands-on training.
Miles. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
So am I.
A bit of fun. Yeah, so wonderful. Great story what you've shared with us today. So other people watching this could be hopefully encouraged that they're going to make the right decision by getting involved in this program, so they can be just like you.
Yeah.
Excellent. So thanks for your time. Thanks people watching this video of us two talking about the training what Tom has got and its successes. So I'm going to get going now. So thank you for watching, guys. Bye for now. So how was that? Hopefully you enjoyed the information and you learnt a lot. So if you've been thinking about doing this type of thing and doing this training, you've come to the right place. So all you need to do now is just go in the description below this video, go to my website, and you can sign up today and become like one of these engineers. So have a great day, and bye for now.